It is 9:02, so welcome to the V3 implementation call. Today is August 12th. Thanks everyone for joining. These meetings are recorded and will be shared on the NEMSIS website along with YouTube. If you have joined by phone, you won't have access to the Q&A side. So if you'd like to participate, please join through the Zoom app or the desktop. As a reminder, to receive attendance credit, each vendor attendee must complete the attendance form. And then please use the link or the QR code. I'll go ahead and display that. And you can either use the link that's in chat or the QR code on screen. And we'll post it later throughout the call as a reminder. So if you're attending as part of a vendor team, please note this is individual, not one per company. And then finally, we value your input during these calls. As a reminder, please use the raise hand feature if you'd like to ask a question or share a comment. We'll unmute speakers as we go. To ensure everyone has a chance to participate, please be mindful of others, avoid talking over one another, and keep comments brief. If your question isn't related to the current topic, please post it in the Q&A. We'll respond in writing or we'll return to it at an appropriate time. You're also welcome to use the Q&A at any time if you prefer not to speak live, and we'll read your question aloud. Well, we're going to go ahead and begin with Bengie to share a maintenance update and the 2026 NEMMY Award nominations.
Hey, thank you, Josh. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right, so if you are not familiar with the NEMSIS website, if you go under technical resources, there's a NEMSIS maintenance schedule. If you click here, it will show you the window for when we test for our maintenance updates. We are in August, so the week of August 19th, or the dates of August 19th and August 20th will be the NEMSIS maintenance schedule update. So if you have any issues or have any reporting any errors outside of those dates, please submit a help desk ticket by using the red tab below here. And it will take you to our help desk ticketing system to create a help desk ticket. And most importantly, we're so excited to announce that we've opened up the Data Manager NEMMY Awards nominations. If you haven't nominated anyone before, or if someone hasn't received a NEMMY Award, let's try to see if we can get them to be nominated for a NEMMY Award. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I will drop the link in the chat really soon so that you can nominate someone who's been doing an outstanding job and who's been really helpful as a data manager. And if you have additional comments or notes to add with your nominations, we do have an open space to do so on the form. So please make sure to share why you're nominating this person. And we thank you for your participation. Thank you. That's all, Josh.
Thank you very much, Benji. Next, we have Monet to discuss the monthly report and provide an annual meeting update. Monet?
Okay, greetings. Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Josh, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, you should see the NEMSIS website, correct?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so I would like to let you know that we have published the July report on the website. The way you find the report is under View Reports, Public Reports. And also, let's see, let's just go there. I'm hoping my computer doesn't take too much time, and then it will be under the Monthly Reports tab here. Now, I already have the report open, so I want to go ahead and show it to you here. And I also encourage you to share the report with those in your agency. Maybe the report will be beneficial for them as well as a high-level overview of various activities that are taking place within the NEMSIS tab. We had a really wonderful outpouring of support for research publications in the past month. You'll see here there are several reports, and I think this is one of the things I really wanted to point out to you this month, is that if you're interested in the research that has been performed, or the research that has been conducted utilizing NEMSIS data, you can find some of the reports here, and this will be a great resource for you as well. continue to read the entire report. And if you have any additional questions or anything that you would like to have us improve upon on the report, please let us know. I am actually going to go ahead and transition to the next topic, but I think I'll pause first and see if there are any questions. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I know I need to slow down. The next thing I'm going to do is give you an update regarding the annual meeting. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on this tab here and just let you know that, first of all, we want to thank everyone who registered for the meeting with the early bird special. It was really helpful to have those numbers because they help us prepare for the meeting. The current situation is that we have sold out all of the standard rooms at the venue. So I have requested an additional 30 rooms, which are the last 30 rooms at this particular resort. So if you're interested in attending the meeting, please go ahead and get your reservation taken care of at the resort. We have about 17 working days, and the resort will actually close that portal on September the 4th. So again, with there only being 30 rooms remaining, they will go fast. So if you're coming to the meeting, please take care of that. The next venue is a few miles away, and I believe the price point per night is something around $400. That would be at the Grand Hyatt. The next thing I want to just remind you about is the registration deadline. As you know, we kind of introduced the opening of the meeting a little later than we wanted to. But right now we have about 26 days for everyone to get registered. The portal will close on September the 18th. And the reason I need this to close at that time frame is because I need to provide the numbers to the venue. So again, thank you so much for everyone who registered. Now, the next thing I'll say is that this annual meeting is an all hands on deck event. And so we have several team members who are taking leads on various things. And so that's why you're going to hear from several people today who are going to communicate their various parts about the meeting. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send us a ticket, and then we will also respond that way and continue to make announcements on these V3 calls. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll turn it over back to you, Josh.
Thank you very much, Monet. I wanted to just add one additional, as a reminder that the annual meeting attendance is required for all compliant vendors. We have posted this. We just wanted to make sure everyone is aware. I do see that we have a large number of vendors have already signed up, so thank you very much. If you haven't, or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to discuss and help you in any way possible. So I thank you very much for that. And again, all vendors, it is required if you are compliant on NEMSIS version 3.4.0 or greater. All right, very good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. Thank you very much, Monet, for that great information. Next up, we have Lauri to discuss NEMSIS annual meeting pod topic.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Can you see my screen there?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to remind you guys that we are changing the format of the annual meeting slightly this year, and we're hoping to make it much more engaging and focused on finding solutions to problems. And so I've listed here our current proposed pod topics, and we are continuing to get feedback from you all. I know Bengie's going to put a link in chat in a moment if she hasn't already, to continue to, if you have ideas to share either related to one of these topics of something you'd like to see covered in that pod, or maybe solution together in that pod, or if you have a new idea you'd love to share, please keep sharing. We've collected a lot of feedback, and we are reading through everyone as we're in planning for the annual meeting and planning for the topics. So please keep your comments and suggestions coming. And our idea is between now and the annual meeting, we will kind of pitch each each topic separately. So I think we've done 3 or 4 of these already. I'm going to talk about one today and give you some more details about what we're thinking. And then in September, if you're registered for the annual meeting, in September, be looking for a survey to be emailed to you, and we probably will share it on a V3 call as well. But in that survey, you'll be able to rank the pods that you are most interested in participating in. And so we will then assign pods to everyone. We'd like to make them balanced where there's a variety of stakeholders in each pod that can contribute to the conversation, but we also want it to be a topic you are interested in. So as you're considering these pods, think of maybe which ones would be your top 3 or your ones that you're most interested in. And so we've talked already about reimagining NEMSIS compliance testing. Josh Nation, I believe, will be leading that pod. I'm going to talk today about NEMSIS TAC tools and resources, and then advancing agency data sharing. Casey's going to be leading that pod, defining and implementing standard use of ANSI codes in NEMSIS. John Britt will be leading that pod, and then e-outcomes data and interoperability. Josh Legler will be leading that one. And so for today, I wanted to give you a little more insight into NEMSIS TAC tools and resources. And what we heard from you in the survey responses was that it'd be great to, there were a variety of suggestions, I should say, of potential new resources. And so we'd love to talk through those and come up with kind of an action plan of what vendors would find more helpful if we created some resources from you, what states would find helpful as well. So that's one question we hope to answer in this pod and come up with an action plan for. And then another thing we often hear and heard in the survey as well, and what often comes up, is how can we relieve the burden on providers that it takes so long to collect, or maybe they don't understand how it's being used or what it's being used for. And is it possible to really only collect data that is actually being used in your state? And so we want to have some conversation around that. What would that look like to really maybe do an audit or kind of look at what is being collected and what's being used or not? And maybe we don't need to collect as much if it's not being used. And then how can the tax support states who maybe only want to collect data that is being used, how can we help facilitate that process or that decision making? And how can we help states and agencies use and access the data? A lot of times we hear we spend all this time collecting it and then we don't use it. So if we could create some resources and tools to help you use it, if that was dashboards or other resources, we'd love to think about that together. And then under this pod, we also thought it would be helpful to maybe standardize more definitions. STEMI is an example of that, to maybe make the data easier to compare or easier to use if there's some more standardized definitions and we're making sure it's being collected in the same way across a variety of places. So that is what we're thinking for that specific pod topic. And we'd love you to continue to keep thinking about where you would most like to participate. I think that is all for me. We're excited and excited to see registrations picking up, and I think we're going to have a great turnout and great meeting this year. So looking forward to seeing everyone in person.
That's great, Lauri. Thank you. That sounds like a great pod.
Yeah.
I think that it's definitely needed. I think there'll be some great discussions there. So thank you again. Next up, we have Randall, who's going to provide a few updates. One on the NASEMSO Liaison, violence against CMS, as well as the NEMSIS National Custom Elements. Randall, are you ready?
I am. You see my screen, Josh?
Oh, it looks like it's coming up. No, I see you.
Oh, 1 sec. Let's try this.
That's good, though.
We can
I
see
s-
it. We have to switch the tab. We can see
Yeah,
it.
we see it. Josh, I'm not sure why you're not seeing it.
Okay. All right. As long as it's showing for everyone else.
All right. Well, perfect. All right. So the first topic is just the update here. We have 4 save the dates. I know I've reviewed some of these before. The first one here is just the NASEMSO annual meeting, which will be April 11th through the 15th in Anchorage, Alaska. Big topic of this meeting is, is you're looking at your flights. These flights might be available in the middle of the day. So if you're planning to attend this meeting, just sort of prepare yourself for one extra day. NASEMSO is also preparing that to try to make the last day a little bit longer. Three other save the dates are for the NASEMSO regional meetings. So you have the Great Lakes Regional Meeting coming up September 15th and 16th in Lansing, Michigan. You have your East Region meeting. That's coming up in October 26th and the 27th in Portland, Maine. More details there to follow. And then lastly, the South Region meeting December 1st and 2nd in Fayetteville, Georgia. So I'll put a link into the chat when I'm done here. It'll read you right to the meetings page if you want to be able to click on those and start getting yourself registered. Next topic I have is the violence against EMS personnel. We have these quarterly information sharing sessions. We did have the first one July 15th, very informative, great representation between some agencies, a state, and the vendors. Great topics came up about, just what the interface would look like, when this would be available. So the next meeting for that is October 21st, 2026. There's a QR code there. I'll put a link in the chat. If you haven't signed up for this meeting and you'd like to join it, please do. It's been really good, kind of first meeting that we had, sort of preparing us to lead into this October meeting. Let's see here. Next topic here is about the national custom elements. So first we have another quarterly information sharing session on the CPMIH national custom data elements. That'll be on August 19th, 2026 here, Wednesday, 2 to 3 p.m. That'll be our first meeting. This will be a larger group. Once again, we have 27 current members signed up. I'll have the QR code here and a link in the chat if you're interested in getting additional signups. If you haven't received the invite for this and you're expecting it, I will be going through the membership or the member sign up today and making sure that I've sent those out to everyone. And then lastly here is just an update on the CPMIH National Custom Data Elements. In the past, we've been showing these informational documents and where to find them on the website. We've done the same here for the CPMIH National Custom Elements. So by NEMSIS homepage, going to your technical resources, and then going into the custom element library. Scrolling down, you'll see 5 or 6 total pages. The last one there being the CPMIH data elements. We do have some of the existing ones on there: the eResponse 05, eMedications 10, and eProcedures 10. And then ePayment 32 is really just an extension of those field values. As we continue down, there is a large amount of them, so we've separated them out by the groups. And just continue to scroll by group alphabetically so that you can easily locate them, understand them, see the field values, and incorporate those into your system. So that is available on the NEMSIS website today. Any questions on any of those topics? And I will get those links all in the chat right now.
All right. Thank you very much, Randall. Thank you for all the important updates. Go ahead and take a look. Next, we have Clay to discuss integrating crash and injury surveillance data systems, and then also expanding the medication list. Are you ready, Clay?
I am. Thank you very much. Hey, folks, it's a pleasure to be with you today. Thanks for joining. I have 2 quick things to talk about that have happened since we've last met 2 weeks ago. The first is related to an announcement in the Federal Register last Friday, where NHTSA has posted a request for public comment related to linking crash data to other injury surveillance systems, including EMS, hospital trauma registries, and then hospital outcome data. This is significant, I think, in that it is associated with the crash group that sits outside of the Office of EMS, and they have been really interested in the fact that we have added the NEMSIS UUID to the MUC data set, the minimum uniform crash criteria data set. What this entails, it's requesting information from states and territories who may be attempting to link their crash data with any means, including the UUID. But it is heartening to find as you read through the comments here that they are interested in mostly in looking at how the NEMSIS UUID could be used to link outcome data to crash data, and that's been a real push of the Office of EMS. Monet, if you'd be so kind as to share the two links that I sent to you regarding my presentation, you'll find the link to this request for comment. It is directed to states and to territories, and it will include, I think, an initial interview, a survey that you would complete, and then an in-depth interview in regards to how things are working within your state. I think even if you have proposed plans, it may be incredibly helpful for you to join this group, hear what other states are doing, and also, of course, it would be great to inform our federal partners about how EMS data can be further implemented in other registries within our states. I think that will help us monetarily and with exposure for EMS data. So please feel free to take advantage of this. Any questions related to this Federal Register post? Okay, great. I will go to my next topic, which, as folks may know, also last week, the FDA approved the first product for use of freeze-dried plasma in the pre-hospital setting. Here is the announcement. It will be included in the two links that I shared. This is incredibly exciting in that this is a very stable use of plasma that does not require refrigeration. It has a shelf life. I think we've heard up to a year. So it's an incredible step forward for pre-hospital blood transfusion programs in that it removes much of the complexity that was associated with refrigeration, monitoring, and then returning unused product. So this is incredibly exciting. It's still very new, and perhaps someone on this call has more current information than we have at the TAC. We think it will potentially first be mostly associated with military use, but I think it will find its way into rural and austere locations within the United States. That is mentioned in this release. The NEMSIS TAC, of course, wants to stay on top of this, right? So that we would be able to document the use of freeze-dried plasma. So our recommendation, I'm just going to share here the eMedications defined list. And you'll see that here are the SNOMED codes that, in black, that are currently associated with the eMedications section that really uses RX norm codes. That's the ANSI standard for medications, but we have put in these SNOMED codes to allow for us to be able to document freeze-dried plasma. We worked with the Office of EMS and the Blood Coalition met and decided that they would advocate for these changes you see here in red. And so before row 73 read fresh or red plasma, that was the EMS description that was to present on the GUIs. Its code was for transfusion of fresh frozen plasma. When we've worked with the coalition and others, they've indicated to us that, yeah, we'd love to be able to track different types of plasma, particularly with this new product and the promise that it brings to the pre-hospital setting. So there will be a specific code associated with dried plasma. The only code in SNOMED that comes close to that is the SNOMED description of dried plasma injection. Remley Crow helped us to kind of identify these initial codes, and then we ratified them with the coalition and with the Office of EMS. And so being able to look at the difference between dried plasma, liquid plasma, fresh frozen plasma, as we understand it, is probably not really used in the pre-hospital setting because of the time that's associated with thawing out frozen plasma. So that's probably only interfacility transports where the fresh frozen plasma was started before they initiated the transfer. So we would like to make these changes and would love to discuss these codes with you today. What would the change mean? Well, for e-procedures, of course, the recommendation from NHTSA, from NASEMSO, and of course in the TAC is to document blood use in both e-procedures and e-medications. E-procedures is easy. We could just update the defined list as you see here. E-procedures allows any SNOMED code to be added, so no changes there. For e-medications, which is what you're looking at here, we've added only the specific codes in black so far, and they are their proper use is restricted by a schematron rule. So if we were going to add these additional codes in eMedications, there would need to be a new national schematron file. And so we are working through the process of defining how that would happen and how that would potentially be rolled out. And so we're working through all those details now. So I'll stop there and just ask if there's any questions related to this great addition to the arsenal that may be available to EMS and the civilian side. And then in regards to our approach.
And as a reminder, you can use the raise hand feature and we can take you off mute. We'd love to hear from you.
All right. If there's no comments, I'll turn it back over to you, Josh. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much, Clay. That is great information. Next, we have Mr. Jeremy Kinsman to provide an update from the Office of EMS and on pre-hospital blood. Jeremy?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Great. Just a couple updates from us. I'm going to pop some links in the chat, and I'm hoping maybe someone can share them out. Or maybe I just shared them out with everyone. Maybe I have access to the chat. Okay. So the Department of Transportation recently announced the 2026 National Roadway Safety Strategy. It really, I think, kind of highlights the department's commitment to supporting 911 and EMS systems, as key components of reducing crash fatalities and serious injuries. So I did include a link there to that. In terms of NEMSAC and FICOMs, we did have a NEMSAC meeting the first part of August. NEMSAC is planning on establishing an interoperability subcommittee, which is really exciting, and I think aligns well, certainly, with our work in that space and trying to help EMS systems to connect to health information exchanges and also to interoperate with other data systems. So that's good to hear. We've got some alignment there. If you're interested, kind of just broadly learning more about NEMSAC's work or things specific to the work that maybe that interoperability subcommittee is going to do, you can sign up for our EMS update newsletter at ems.gov. I included a link in the chat. You just kind of scroll to the bottom and there's a EMS update, a link to the EMS update, so you can get updates about when NEMSAC meetings are occurring. I also included a link to just the NEMSAC webpage where you can look at past meeting minutes and materials online. Our FICOMs, so please do that if you're interested in NEMSAC. For FICOMs, I don't think we've had any recent public meetings, and the next public meeting I don't think is scheduled until December. But if you're interested in just kind of following along with the work that FICOMS is doing, same thing. If you sign up for that Office of EMS update at ems.gov, you'll also get information about FICOMS. And I'll be happy to continue to update the group just on anything that's going on and related to FICOMS. One big piece that aligns with the interoperability piece is we are in the process of updating the FICOM strategic plan. And it looks like in the current kind of version, we are going to include several kind of pieces on interoperability and data exchange. And so I think our hope is really that by getting that information into the FICOM strategic plan, that is going to help us and all our federal partners across the government who work kind of in the EMS space to help us move forward with kind of advancing, EMS's opportunities for connections with health information exchange and other data systems. So that's great. We did, Clay and I and a couple other folks, we were able to attend the ATSIP Traffic Records Forum down here in New Orleans at the first part of August, which was great. We had a pre-conference workshop on pre-hospital blood. And then Clay also gave a presentation on the UUID. So we've got a lot of renewed interest right now, I think, from state highway safety partners on pre-hospital blood, and also how do we kind of link crash and EMS data. I think that's really highlighted. So the states are interested, as Clay kind of mentioned with the request for information that went out in the Federal Register, our partners over at NHTSA, the National Center for Statistics and Analysis, who run FARS and our other crash data sets and databases, they are really interested in trying to figure out how can we better link our EMS and crash data. And so would just welcome and encourage folks to consider submitting a reply to that RFI. So good. It's good to see, I think, their continued exploration of the UUID and looking at that as a strong possible solution to helping us do that. And then lastly, I think I've mentioned this on the last call that I joined, but in terms of pre-hospital blood, our partners of the Uniformed Services University, the National Institute for Defense Health Cooperation, that we have an interagency agreement with, they're in the process of reviewing applications for our pre-hospital blood demonstration programs. That's going to fund 25 sites over the next several years. The big piece for that is related to our work is just going to be how do we kind of collect data from those 25 sites, certainly the EMS data, the hospital outcomes data, because really what we want to be able to do with that effort is to do an impact evaluation to show how pre-hospital blood is impacting and MVC morbidity and mortality. And so we'll have further updates as those sites are selected. I think that's all I have for today. If folks have questions, I'm happy to answer any questions, but also, anytime you need something or if there's something that we can do for you here at the NHTSA Office of EMS, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via email, give us a call. We're happy to connect with you guys and do whatever we can to help. So thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Go ahead and take back over the share. As a reminder on upcoming meetings, our next V3 implementation call is going to be Wednesday, August 26th, and the next public training will be on Tuesday, September 1st. We're now going to move into the open forum. This is an opportunity to raise questions, share feedback, or flag any topics related to today's content. Please submit questions through the Q&A or please use that raise hand feature and we'll moderate to keep everyone on time and make sure we capture what needs to be followed up. All right, just see if anybody has anything. While we're waiting, we do invite you to follow NEMSIS on social media to stay up to date on all things regarding V3 updates, resources, upcoming announcements, and research highlights. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and others. So just search for the NEMSIS tab. And again, still in that open forum. So if you have any topics you'd like to discuss, either type them into that chat or use the raise hand feature. We'd be happy to discuss. All right. Everyone's quiet today, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next part. The TAC would like to sincerely thank you for your time today. We know you're busy. We appreciate you joining. Again, our next V3 implementation call is Wednesday, August 26th. We look forward to seeing you. If there are no more questions, then we're going to go ahead. Well, maybe we have one. Oh, never mind. Thought we had one there for a second. But if there are no more questions, we're going to go ahead and move into the breakout rooms, which I've got on screen here. So those should be popping up in just a second. As a quick reminder, vendors, please only join your assigned breakout room to receive credit for attending today's call. Please join only your designated room and do not enter other breakout rooms without pre-permission. Keep conversations professional and respectful. You should see a prompt to join your assigned breakout room here in just a second. Once you do, click join. If you have any issues, we will have TAC staff remaining in the main room lobby to help out. Thanks everyone for your time this morning, and we hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday.